Let me be real with you. Life doesn't change by accident. It changes the moment you decide you're done playing small. That's it, one decision. One bold, fearless, uncomfortable decision. That's all it takes to shift your whole life. And most people never make it. Not because they can't, but because they never believe they can. They wait. They hesitate. They let fear drive the car while their purpose sits in the back seat. But you've got a choice today. You can choose to keep living on autopilot, or you can make that one decision to take control. And I'm not talking about some dramatic gesture. I'm talking about the moment when you say, I'm tired of settling. I'm tired of doubting myself. I'm tired of living under my potential. That moment when you decide that fear is no longer going to run your life, that you're no longer waiting for permission, that you're no longer going to carry dead weight, whether it's people, pain, or patterns. You decide to believe in yourself. You decide to move towards something greater. Even if you don't know what's on the other side, that's the moment everything changes. See, the truth is, we want results without risk. We want growth without discomfort. But it doesn't work like that. If you want to change your life, you've got to step into places that scare you. You've got to leave behind the familiar, even if it's all you've ever known. Because your comfort zone might be cozy, but it's also keeping you from your calling. You're waiting for the right time. Let me tell you, the right time is when you decide it is. You're waiting until you feel confident. Confidence doesn't show up first. Courage does. Confidence comes after you make the move. You say yes to the unknown, yes to growth, yes to the version of you that you haven't even met yet. You don't need to know the whole path. You just need to take the first step. And when you do, everything starts to shift. Your mindset changes. Your energy changes. And eventually, your life changes. And here's the thing, your decision isn't just about you. It never is. When you rise, you give others permission to do the same. Your kids, your family, your friends, they're watching you. Your breakthrough might be the spark that lights theirs. That one decision can create a ripple effect that touches people you haven't even met yet. It's legacy work. It's life-changing work. So today, you've got a decision to make. You can keep doing what you've always done, or you can draw the line and say, from this day on, I choose different. I choose bold. I choose better. Because one decision, just one, can change everything. Would you like a polished conclusion paragraph to wrap this all together like a mic drop moment? You don't need 10 steps. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need everybody's approval. What you need is one bold choice. One moment where you stop second guessing. Stop playing it safe. Stop waiting for everything to line up, and you just go for it. That's all it takes. One decision fueled by faith instead of fear. Because the truth is, your whole life can pivot in a single moment. One yes can open doors you never imagined. One no can close the chapter that's been draining your spirit for years. That one bold choice, it's a spark. And you don't always know what it's going to ignite, but you make it anyway. Not because you're not scared, but because you're tired of being stuck. Tired of wondering what would happen if you just believed in yourself for once. The power of one bold choice is real, because when you take that step, something inside you wakes up. You remember who you are. You stop shrinking. You stop settling. And you start walking different, thinking different, showing up like the person you were always meant to be. That one choice might not fix everything overnight, but it will shift the atmosphere. It'll send a message to the world and to your soul. I'm not staying here. I'm going after more. And once you taste that kind of courage, you never go back to average. The most important decision you will ever make in your life is the moment you decide to believe in yourself. Not halfway, not sometimes fully, completely, boldly. That decision right there is where everything changes. Because for too long, you've been waiting on someone else to see your worth, to give you permission to tell you you're enough. But here's the truth. Nobody's coming to hand you the confidence you need. That's on you. And when you finally stop looking outside for validation and start trusting the gift God put inside you, that's when the game changes. You've got something in you that the world needs, but it only comes alive when you believe in it. You've been talking yourself out of opportunities, playing small so others feel comfortable, second-guessing your talent like it wasn't given to you for a reason. But when you decide once and for all that you are worthy, capable, and built for more, that decision becomes the foundation of everything else. People might doubt you. Life might throw curveballs. But if you believe in you, nothing can stop you. You'll walk different. You'll speak different. You'll show up like somebody who knows where they're going. It's not about being arrogant. It's about knowing that you're not here by accident. There's something only you can do, and it starts the moment you say, I've got this. I believe in me, even if no one else does yet. That's when doors start to open. That's when people start to notice. But it's not about them. It's about you finally showing up for yourself. So stop doubting, stop delaying, and make the decision that your future has been waiting on. Believe in yourself, fully, fiercely, unapologetically, because that belief, that's the key to everything. Fear is the one thing standing between where you are and where you're meant to be. It doesn't always show up loud. It creeps in quiet. It whispers in your ear, tells you you're not ready, tells you you're not good enough, makes you question every move you want to make. Fear will have you holding on to comfort like it's safety, but really, it's a cage. You can't soar when you're still chained to what's safe. At some point, you've got to look fear in the face and say, you don't get to drive anymore. Because as long as fear is in control, your potential is stuck in neutral. You miss opportunities, you shrink your dreams, you convince yourself that maybe later is the right time, but later turns into never. Letting go of fear doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you're choosing to move anyway. It means you stop giving fear the final say in your story. When you release it, when you step out even while your knees are shaking, that's where the shift begins. That's where growth shows up. That's where confidence is born. You start to realize that most of the things you were afraid of were never real to begin with. They were just stories you told yourself, limits you built around your greatness. But greatness doesn't live inside comfort. It lives on the other side of fear, and the only way to reach it is to let go. Let go of the doubt, the overthinking, the need to have all the answers. Let go of what people might say. Let go of playing it small just to avoid failure. You were never built to live in fear. You were built to rise, to stretch, to shine. So let it go and step into the version of yourself that fear's been trying to keep you from becoming. Because once you do, nothing will ever be the same. There comes a point in your life when you have to say yes before you have it all figured out. That's where transformation begins. Not when everything is certain, not when the road is clear, But when you say yes to the unknown is uncomfortable. It's risky. It's the space where doubt tries to talk you down and fear tries to keep you still. But it's also the place where growth lives, where purpose hides, and where your true potential waits to be unlocked. The truth is, nothing great ever came from playing it safe. Every breakthrough, every blessing, every moment that changed someone's life, it started with someone who dared to say yes, even when they didn't know what was coming next. Saying yes doesn't mean you won't be afraid. It means you're willing to walk forward with faith in spite of it. It means you trust that what's ahead is bigger than what's behind you. Most people never step into the life they're meant to live because they keep waiting for a guarantee. But life doesn't hand out guarantees. It hands out opportunities. And it's your yes that activates them. That leap into the unknown might be the scariest move you ever make, but it also might be the one that changes everything. You weren't meant to stay in the shallow end your whole life. There's more for you, but you'll only find it when you take that step, when you trust that you're guided, that you're ready, even if you don't feel like it yet. Saying yes to the unknown is saying yes to growth, to faith, to purpose. And when you do that, when you show up for the life that's calling you, doors open, paths appear, and the impossible starts looking possible. You just have to say yes. There comes a time in your life when you've got to look around and ask yourself, is this still serving me? Because not everything you start with is meant to stay with you. Some things, some people, some habits, they were only meant for a season. And the biggest mistake you can make is dragging yesterday into tomorrow. Walking away isn't weakness. Walking away is wisdom. It takes strength to say, this no longer grows me. It no longer feeds my spirit. It no longer aligns with where I'm going. You've got dreams to chase, peace to protect, and a life to live. But as long as you're holding on to things that are draining you, you can't receive what's meant for you. That job that leaves you empty, that relationship that takes more than it gives, that mindset that keeps telling you you're not enough, it all has to go. You deserve more than just surviving. You deserve to thrive. But you can't soar when your hands are full of what's holding you down. Letting go is scary, yes, because we're creatures of comfort, and we'd rather stay in the familiar pain than step into unfamiliar peace. But growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in courage. And walking away is an act of courage. It's you saying, I believe something better is out there. I believe I'm worth more than this. You don't owe anything to what's been holding you back. You owe everything to the future you've been dreaming about. So take the step, close the chapter, release what's no longer aligned with your purpose. Because the moment you do, you create space for something greater to walk in. And trust me, what's ahead of you is so much better than what you're leaving behind. Everybody wants the win. Everybody wants the success, the breakthrough, the big moment. But not everybody wants the process. And let me tell you, if you can't commit to the process, you're never going to touch the outcome. See, the process is where the real work happens. It's where character is built. It's where discipline gets tested. It's those long nights, early mornings, silent seasons where nobody's clapping for you, where you feel like quitting every other day, but you don't. That's the process. And it's not pretty. It's not always exciting. It's lonely sometimes. But if you learn to fall in love with it, to show up even when you don't feel like it, to keep pushing even when the results aren't showing yet. That's when things start to shift, because the process shapes you into the person who can handle the blessing. You don't just want the outcome. You want to be the kind of person who can keep it when it shows up. That takes time. That takes grind. That takes faith. If you're only in it for the end result, you'll tap out the moment it gets hard. But when you're committed to the journey, when you show up with heart, consistency, and purpose, then even the setbacks start to serve you. You start learning from the failure. You start growing from the waiting. And that's when you realize that the process is the point. The outcome is just a bonus. So keep going. Keep showing up. Don't chase the prize, chase the purpose. Because when you're locked in with the process, the reward will always come. There comes a moment in your life when you've got to make a choice between faith and doubt. And that choice will define your future. Doubt will always show up. It'll try to whisper in your ear that you're not ready, that your dream is too big, that your past disqualifies you from the future you want. It'll feed off your insecurities, play on your fears, and convince you to shrink when you were born to rise. But faith, that's different. Faith doesn't need proof. Faith says, even if I can't see it yet, I believe it's mine. Faith is stepping out when the path isn't clear. It's trusting that the vision you've been given isn't random. It's purpose. It's divine. And it's possible. Choosing faith doesn't mean everything will be easy. It means you refuse to quit just because things get hard. It means you trust the process, even when it's slow. It means you walk like it's already done, even when nothing around you has changed. And every time you choose faith over doubt, something in the universe shifts. You open yourself to opportunity, to favor, to doors that wouldn't open if you let doubt take the wheel. Doubt keeps you stuck. Faith moves you forward. Doubt says, what if it doesn't work? Faith says, but what if it does? You've got to get to a place where you believe more in the power of your potential than the fear of your failure. Where you believe that the calling on your life is bigger than the voices trying to talk you out of it. That's when the real breakthroughs begin. Not when things are perfect, but when you decide to bet on yourself anyway. Faith doesn't guarantee a smooth ride, but it guarantees you won't walk alone. So today, choose faith again and again. Because when you lead with faith, you start unlocking a life that doubt could never give you. Sometimes all it takes is one brave move to shift everything. One step outside your comfort zone. One decision to finally speak up. One moment where you stop playing small and decide you're going to live like your future depends on it. Because it does. People think it's the big wins that change a life, but more often than not, it's the brave, quiet choices that nobody sees. The moment you say, I'm done settling, the day you walk away from what's been breaking you, the second you stop waiting and start building, that one brave move sends ripples. It doesn't just change your day, it changes your direction. It doesn't just shift your path. It gives someone else the courage to shift theirs. You have no idea how powerful you are when you step into who you were really made to be. That kind of courage is contagious. People watch you stand up and realize they can too. Your bravery isn't just for you. It breaks generational cycles. It lights the way for your kids, your friends, even strangers who are watching your story unfold. And no, it's not always easy. Being brave doesn't mean you don't feel fear. It means you move forward even when the fear is loud. You trust the whisper of purpose more than the noise of doubt. You honor your future more than your past. That's where the ripple begins. That's where your life starts making impact beyond what you can see. One brave move can put you in rooms you never thought you'd be in. It can open doors that fear had locked shut. And once you move, once you shift, once you rise, you never go back to who you used to be. So don't underestimate the power of one decision, one leap, one act of faith. Because the ripple from that moment, it might just change everything for you and for everybody connected to your name. So let me leave you with this. Life doesn't shift in 1,000 moments. It shifts in one. One decision, one step. One act of courage that says, I'm not staying stuck. I'm not letting fear write my story. I'm not waiting for permission. That one decision may not make everything perfect overnight, but it will start something. It will light a fire in you that no storm can put out. And you don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to move. Trust that the same power that gave you the dream will guide you through the journey. You are one decision away from a completely different life. So stop hesitating, stop doubting, choose to believe, choose to grow, choose to rise. Because once you make that decision, everything begins to change. And there's no limit to what's waiting for you on the other side.